Hey guys, it's me, Carrie. I've missed you a lot. I so wanted to shoot videos while I was actually at Monster-Mania, but if you watch the one that I shot, you can see the lighting was awful and it just wasn't really worth shooting stuff while I was there. So we got home yesterday around 2:30 and now I'm dealing with the post-Monster-Mania blues, which sucks. We don't get to go back now until March. It's a semi-annual event. They actually do three a year, and there's one in October in Hunt Valley, Maryland, which I highly recommend. Unfortunately, a lot of people assume it's, oh God, you don't go because the drive is far. We would legit drive like 15 hours to go to a Monster-Mania. It's the financial thing. There's no way we could afford to do three cons in a year. We save up and it's all we can do to go to the two Jersey cons a year. We wish we were going in October, but we know we have March to look forward to. But we had the most wonderful time, you guys. I'm actually going to be shooting several unboxings, but this is basically just a chitty chat thing. Because not several unboxings, one unboxing. The rest will be hauls, but we had the most wonderful time, you guys. This is just a quick overview. Celebrity-wise, everybody we met was so lovely. I wish I had the schedule of events with all of the attendees on it with me, but I wasn't prepared because I was going to do haul videos first. But we met so many wonderful people. We got to say hi and take photos with Alison Lohman, who I absolutely adore. White Oleander is legitimately one of my top 5 favorite movies, and she was so sweet and lovely and wonderful. And I got a photo with her and an autograph, and we got to chat a little bit each of the 3 days of the con, which was wonderful. I absolutely adore her. She's so fabulous, guys. She's actually teaching acting now out of her home via Skype, which is amazing. She's got 2 young children, and I thought, gosh, that's brilliant. You get to still take part in something that you love doing, but you get to spend more time with your husband and your kids. You get to do it from the convenience of your own home, which I don't know if social anxiety or mental illness is an issue for Allison. I know it is for me. Like, that would be such an ideal career opportunity, and she was just amazing. I loved her. We got to meet the Soska sisters, Jen and Sil, who I love to pieces. They're the most wonderful, wonderful ladies on the planet. If you're not familiar with their work, because they are indie directors, producers, writers, actresses, they're absolutely amazing. I've only seen one of their movies so far. What really drew me to them initially, Brian found them on Facebook when we discovered that they were going to be attending the con, and people have been begging for them, legit begging for them for years and years. Please, 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 Dave, the promoter, please have Jen and Sylvia at the con. So Brian looked them up on Facebook, and he started following both of them, and they both post the most beautiful, inspiring, uplifting, supportive quotes and memes, and they just write things that made us, my husband and myself, as people who are lifelong mental illness sufferers, feel so loved and supported, and they're just the most amazing ladies. So we went out of our way to watch, at least watch one of their films, American Mary, before we went to the con, and it was, oh, I can't even tell you. It was like life changing. It was beautiful. It was heartbreaking. It was devastating. It was wickedly funny in places. I don't want to tell you a single thing about it because it's just such a unique film, but I highly, highly recommend it. And we talked a little bit about that when we met, but mostly we talked about just life stuff. And Sylvia and Jen are just both so amazing. We love them to pieces. I cannot say enough about them. We met Ethan Embry, who has been in lots of things that we've loved, including Empire Records, and Can't Hardly Wait, which I've never seen actually, but he had a big role in that. That was like a big breakthrough role for him. But the thing that we love him most in is That Thing You Do. If you've seen it, he was TB Player, the bass player, but he actually didn't have a name. He was credited as TB Player in the credits, and it was not the biggest role for him, but it was very memorable. So we got an autographed picture of the cast of That Thing You Do signed by him, and we had a lovely conversation and got lots of hugs, and he was such a wonderful person too. FYI, guys, I'm just putting this out there. If any of the actors that attend cons, highly unlikely, watch this, just a note. I know you like to put out stuff that you think the fans are going to want, like photos from your iconic films or television shows or whatever. Brian and I, we always look for pictures of them as themselves. Like just a photo of them where, Obviously, it's probably going to be a professional shot, but like when we met Amanda Bearse last year from Fright Night and Married with Children and so many other wonderful things, like she had a lot of pictures from the movie. And she actually was so amazing. She gifted me an autograph photo instead of charging me the usual fee. I made her, oh, actually, no, I didn't make her a bracelet. I gave her a Pura Vida bracelet that was, I have one myself. Oh, I'm not wearing it right now, but it represents an animal charity, Karma Cat Zen Dog, and I know she's really into animals, and I gifted her a bracelet, and she said, oh my gosh, well, the least I can do is, give you a photo. And she had all these photos out on her table of herself in the different roles, Married with Children, Fright Night, several other gigs that she's done. And I said, do you have any pictures of just Amanda as Amanda? And she goes, as a matter of fact, I do. And she pulled this photo out of her little, like, briefcase thing, and it was just the most gorgeous shot of herself recently, just being Amanda. And I said, that's the one I want. Guys, please know that not every fan wants a fan photo. Like, Brian and I very rarely discuss actual acting stuff with the celebs that we meet. We want to know them as people. Like, I'll typically ask a question in a Q&A, like, I asked Daphne Zuniga, who was also super lovely, and it turns out is friends with a dear friend of mine, Jane Sibbett. They went to UCLA together, and it was just like, oh, this cool 6 degrees thing. So I got to, Jane was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I went to school with Daphne. So I got to tell Daphne, my friend Jane went to college with you, and we had to, a chance to talk about that. But when Daphne did her Q&A panel, and of course, Daphne Zuniga from Spaceballs and Melrose Place and 109 other wonderful things. But my question to Daphne, because I had talked to her briefly on Friday and her Q&A panel was on Saturday, I said, you seem so zen and so mellow and comfortable in your skin and so content with life. Like, what's your secret? How did you get to this awesome place? Because I suffer from so much anxiety and I'm always trying to find ways to feel better about myself and about life. Like, what's your secret? And she said, honestly, a big part of it is meditation. She took up meditation about 14 years ago and she talked at length about that. And I'm hoping I can post the video where I asked that question. My husband shot it, but I don't have access to his videos because they're on his Facebook, so I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to post that. I'd love to, because I asked a couple questions at a couple different panels, and Brian's always kind enough to shoot video of my asking and them answering, but she answered at length, and it was so wonderful. And like, that's the kind of shit I like to talk to people about, because yes, they're celebs, and yes, they're actors, and people recognize them on the street, and yada, 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 and that's great. But I just want to know people as human beings, like know more about them as themselves. So, anyway, to get back to my original point, I love it when the actors have a photograph of themselves not in a character, not on set, not playing a role, just a picture of them being themselves. So that's generally the photos that we choose. But Ethan didn't have any like that, and Allison didn't have any like that. She said the one that was most her, because I asked her the question, she was like, wow, that's actually a really interesting, cool question, was from the movie Flicka, which I also saw and really enjoyed. It was like a candid shot of her on set with one of the horses, and like out in the fields, and it was beautiful. But I had to pick White Oleander because it's one of my favorite movies. So I picked a shot of Allison and Patrick Fugit, and I love it. And I'm so happy that I got that one, because she said of the movie ones that I have here, because there were several, like, that's the one. So I said, okay, cool, that's the one I was leaning towards anyway. And I will show you guys the photos in another video because they're awesome, and I'm so stoked. But we also met a lot of other people and got to say hi to a lot of people that we've seen at past cons, including PJ Souls, who, was in Carrie, Rock and Roll High School, the original Halloween, A Million Things. I got a candid shot with her at the VIP party. That's why we save up all year. We save up because we want to do the VIP. We've done this con now twice non-VIP, and this has been our 6th one VIP. And one of the benefits is you get to go to a VIP party on Friday night where there's free soft drinks and water and beautiful cakes. I don't know the name of the baker who makes the cakes or the cake designer, but they're gorgeous. They're like, so on par with stuff you'd see on like Cake Boss or Ace of Cakes or any of those, Food Network shows where they have the cake competitions. They're gorgeous. So they always have these beautiful cakes that you get to photograph and then eat and enjoy, obviously. And they have an ice cream sundae bar, and it's just a lot of fun. There's a DJ, and all of the celebrities are invited, and it's just up to them whether or not they choose to come. This year, very few came. It was kind of a bummer, but we got to meet the Soskas, which was amazing before we actually met them at their table. And we took a selfie, my husband and myself and the two ladies, and it came out like shit. But we knew we were, we loved them already. I was like, I don't remember which one I asked, because now I can tell them apart, because Jen has two moles on her face, but they're identical twins. And but I don't remember who I asked, but I said, would it be okay if my husband and I take a selfie with you? And she's like, fucking yeah, of course it's okay. And she gave us each the biggest hugs, and we took our selfie, and it came out so shitty because it was really dark. But we got beautiful photos on Sunday with them, that we paid for at their table, and I gave them bracelets, and we just had the best, most wonderful conversations, and we loved them so much. But PJ Souls was there, and she is such an absolute doll. This is the second time she's been at Monster-Mania, and we've gotten to, to chat with her. We got to talk with her more this time, which was nice, and we got a photo with her at the VIP party, because it's up to the celebrities at their discretion. They can choose to take photos with you or not, because obviously, a big part of their motivation of coming to the cons is to make money at their table. So, but PJ doesn't even charge for photos at her table. She is just one of the most delightful, amazing people you could ever meet in life. I hope you all have the opportunity, whether you're into horror films or not. She's just a fantastic lady in general. So I got to chat with her a little bit, and my husband as well, on Sunday. And we're like, we hope you come back forever, because we love you. You're one of our favorite guests, and we think you're so great. And we just bullshitted about all kinds of random stuff. We got to say hi briefly again to Sid Haig and Bill Moseley, who, if you're into horror, you would certainly know from House of a Thousand Corpses. And, oh God, I'm blanking out. And The Devil's Rejects. The Rob Zombie films that are just amazing and so violent and beautiful, and again wickedly funny, and just so terrific. But who else did we actually speak to at tables? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Robert Brian Wilson, who played the lead role of Billy in Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is one of my favorite horror films I only discovered a few years ago. But for me, Robert Brian Wilson will always remind me of Santa Barbara, which was my very favorite soap opera of all time. And I went up to his table and I said, okay, now I'm going to say two words to you. I did the math in my head as to when Santa Barbara began, because he was not on for a very long time, but he played a very pivotal role. The pilot episode was his character Channing's birthday party, and he was murdered that night, so he was only in flashback scenes after that. But he was, God, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, he jump-started a lot of storylines on the show, and he was on in '84 when the show first began, and I said, okay, now, I'm going to blow you away. I'm doing the math here. This is probably words you haven't heard in about 33 years, and, I'm just going to bring these two words up to you, Santa Barbara. And he was just like, his mouth dropped. He was like, holy shit. Like, I never expected to hear that, especially at a horror con. That's so awesome. I'm like, you don't even understand. That show was my life. I started watching when I was 11 years old. I watched it from beginning to end just about. I missed, like, the first 6 months, so I didn't actually see many of his scenes until after the fact. YouTube, thank God for YouTube, and my friend who posts videos all the time. God, I'm blanking on her name right now, which is really upsetting me. Candy Eden is her name on YouTube, though. And she's French, and she's lovely. And oh my God, I hate that I'm blanking on her name right now, but she posts the best Santa Barbara videos. But anyway, I got to watch the pilot episode and a lot of the early Santa Barbara stuff by going back to YouTube and watching her clips that she put together painstakingly over the years. Because Santa Barbara aired later in France, and it was like way, way, way more popular in France than here in the US. I think they even aired it in prime time there, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so he was just so tickled to hear about that. I was like, of course I love the movie too, but oh my gosh, Santa Barbara was everything. And I ended up running into him in the hallway on Saturday, and, we had a, moment. He was just kind of hanging out, and I said, would it be okay if I take a selfie with you, or if I take a picture with you? And he's like, of course. And you've got to understand that the Capwell family on Santa Barbara, like, I wanted them to adopt me. Like, a lot of people say, like, I wish I could have been adopted by the Brady Bunch. No, I wanted to be adopted by the Capwells. It was the most beautiful, wealthy, crazy, dysfunctional, but I didn't think about that part of it, family, but it was like, they're rich and they're gorgeous and I want to be a Capwell. So, and they had the two most beautiful blonde daughters, Marcy Walker and originally Robin Wright played their two daughters. So I was like, I'm blonde. I may not be beautiful, but I'm blonde, so I could be a Capwell. I could be like, I don't know, like the wicked sister that like, they keep in the closet. I don't know, but I wanted to be a Capwell so bad. So I jokingly said to Robert when we took the photo, I was like, it's it. I've made it. I'm a Capwell. And he's like, well, you kind of look like one. And I'm like my mouth just went. I was like, you have no idea. That is like the best compliment I've ever had in my life, because Marcy Walker and Robin Wright are like the most gorgeous women on the planet. So to even be in like the same breath as them, which obviously I don't look like they do, but I was like, oh my God, you just made my life. This is crazy. And that was the most fangirly I think I got, because I really try not to fangirl over anybody too much. I did with Allison a little bit for like the first 2 minutes, because I was like, you don't even know how much White Oleander means to me. And we talked about the movie a little bit, and she was so delighted that it was so meaningful to me, and it helped me, in a lot of ways. If you haven't seen it, highly, highly recommended. But, yeah, so I had a wonderful time with Robert. We just said brief hellos to other people. Oh, we got photos with Burt Young, who was, from the Rocky films. Yes, he was Adrian's brother, which, why am I blanking out on his name right now? Holy crap. But he was in all of the Rocky movies and played Adrian's brother. I keep thinking Mickey, but Mickey was Burgess Meredith. Paulie, and he was so nice. He was really, really sweet, and we got a photo with him, and who else did we meet? Oh gosh, I'm blanking. Jonathan Key-Kwan, who was in The Goonies and also Raiders of the Lost Ark Part 2. We didn't get a photo and autograph with him. There were several people we just kind of said hi and chit-chatted with, but he was lovely, and this was his first time at Monster-Mania, and he said he had such a wonderful time. He looks exactly the same. I kept telling him that. I'm like, you seriously don't age. This is ridiculous. You and I are about the same age, and you look exactly like you did when you were a little boy. And he was like, oh, thank you, thank you. He was so polite and so sweet, and we got hugs, and it was great. We said a quick hi to Danielle Harris, who, of course, you'll know from the Halloween movies, and Roseanne, and a gajillion other things that she's done. Who else did we say hi to? I'm like trying to visualize the room, like as where everybody was set up. I can't think. If I'm forgetting anybody, I'll mention them in other videos. But yeah, we had such a wonderful time. But that's just the celebrity part, guys. And yes, that was fabulous, but the best part of the weekend was seeing our friends. Over the course of these 8 cons, we have met so many amazing fellow fans that have become such dear, dear, dear members of our... We say, like, hashtag horror family. But honestly, I love these people like they are like my blood relations. Like we've met so many wonderful people over the years, and this year we got to spend a lot more time with a lot of them, and that was literally the best part of the whole weekend. I'm not going to shout them all out, because if I forget anybody, I'll feel like shit, but I mentioned many of them on my Facebook page. Some of them will get mentions in hauls, because many of them are vendors as well as fans, so they try to meet people as they can, as far as the celebrities, when they can take a quick break from their tables, but mostly they're there to work and to sell stuff. So I was so happy to support a lot of them, because they have small businesses, and they're artists, and they're geniuses, and they're brilliant, they're amazing people. There are creative people, and in some cases they're part of our mental illness family, because we all I like to say, we kids with issues find our own. We really do. I know I'm saying probably even more than usual, but it's because I'm really animated and I'm yammering like, a babbling fool. But and this is my VIP bracelet, by the way, which is not going to come off for at least a week. That's tradition for Brian and I. We can't let go of things that we love, because there's so few things that we love that we hang on to them for as long as possible. He's like, I can wear this to work selling sausage. My glove will go over the bracelet. It'll all be copacetic. But we just had the most amazing, amazing time, and we're so excited for March. We can't wait. We already booked our room, so we're good to go. Fortunately, it just holds your reservation. You don't have to actually put any money down yet. So, we have another, what is it now? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So we have 7 months. This is the big break, so it kind of sucks because it's March and August. So we only have 5 months between the last one and this one. This is the long break. But we have time to put money away again for it and everything. And it's just like we said to Dave, who is the promoter and runs the events with his family. We're lifers now. Like, you can't get rid of us because it's just something we stumbled upon. When we moved back to New York in 2013, we were like so miserable because we were happy to be back. The circumstances were shitty. I've discussed that in the past. I'll get into that again in other videos. But we moved back end of February of 2013 after living in Florida for over 8 years. And we had been Disney Pass holders. We're like, what the fuck are we going to do that's going to make us happy in New York? And it wasn't until March of 2014 that my husband discovered this wonderful horror convention in the next state over. And he said, let's just try this. We're both like very fearful of new experiences. So we were scared and we took the train. We took we took 2 trains and a cab the first time and 3 trains the second time. And then by the third time, we're like, we can do this. We can drive. We got to stop being afraid. And that was when we said all the money we were saving on the travel, we would put into VIP tickets instead. And no looking back since. Now we got this drive down. It's a cakewalk. We love it. And it's actually part of the fun. Like, we usually make a mixed CD to listen to in the car. And once we get into, we cross the border from New York into New Jersey and we get on like I-95, then we listen to the CD, and it pretty much always works out that it gets us just about to the hotel. But yeah, we're lifers. We love this con so much. We've never been to any other conventions. We really don't want to go to any other conventions because we feel like we've been spoiled. Like, nothing could measure up to the warmth and the family vibe and the sense of community and just the love shared amongst the stars and the fans and the volunteers and the staff and even the hotel staff. We have a favorite waitress at the restaurant. Shout out to Jeannie, who we absolutely adore. That is she's not, part of the staff. She's our dear friend now. And we love her to pieces. So that, like, everything about this vacation is just so special for us. So I just wanted to give you guys a little recap. I had intended to shoot video. My friend Leslie Dawn Whimsy had said, shoot some video when you're walking around if you don't mind, so we can get an idea of what the con is like. And I kept meaning to, but I was always distracted. I was caught up in the moment and I never got around to doing it. I will try to remember to in March. And I was also going to shoot some video with my dear friend Mary, who's the founder of Bastion's Boutique. All of the goodies I'm going to show you in my first haul, which will be a separate video, are from Mary, and she is one of my best friends now. We only met at the March con, even though she's been going there with her husband John forever, and Brian and I have been to now 8. We only met at the last con in March, and we hit it off, and we've gotten close, and we talk on Facebook, and we talk via text, and I'm going to call you Mary. I swear to God. You guys know about my phone anxiety, but I love Mary so much, so I promised her next week, when she's done with some shitty, aggravating shit she's got to do in her life. She and her husband are moving, not by choice. It's a whole deal. I promised her I'm going to call her, and I really am, because I have to stop being afraid, because I love Mary so much. But yeah, it's just the most wonderful experience, and we got to spend so much more time with John and Mary this time, and all of our other friends. Again, I'm not going to mention names because if I forget anyone, I'll feel terrible, but some of them will get brought up in the haul videos. But anyway, so I was going to shoot video with Mary too, that's what I was going to say, and we just like kept talking, like our mouths didn't stop. We were just talking and enjoying each other's company, and I never got around to that either, but maybe in March we'll do that too. But if I can figure out a way to get the video my husband shot, because he had it on his phone, but I think it's already been deleted from his phone because he uploaded it to Facebook. If I can figure out a way that either he or I can post it from Facebook, save it to a hard drive or whatever to get it up on this channel, I will absolutely do it, because there's footage of my questions being asked at Daphne Zuniga's talk. I'm trying to think, Danielle Harris. Who else did I ask a question? I can't remember who else I asked questions of, but he also shot some footage of people I didn't ask questions of, like Zach Galligan from Gremlins. Oh my God, I don't think I mentioned him. He was so super awesome too. we just loved him. He was such a funny guy and so warm at his talk. When we first met him at his table, like we thought he was maybe a little standoffish, but I think maybe he was just a little overwhelmed maybe or disappointed because the crowds weren't what he expected. Because Fridays are usually all of the people that are buying autographs to resell, like, you know, the people that have businesses and whatever. It's not so much the fans. Like, you can usually tell the difference. If somebody gets an item personalized, you know, Dear Carrie and Brian, you know it's because they love that person. They're going to keep it forever. But if they just get Zach Galligan on it, you know, chances are they may very well be reselling that autograph, which, you know, whatever. It's, you know, everybody's personal decision to do what they want to do. Some people that collect don't want their names on it. It's just, you know, a thing. Maybe, you know, I don't know. It's a personal choice. But anyway, so it was just a really brief. We didn't get an autograph. We just got a table photo with him. And we didn't get to talk too much because we felt funny. Like, you know, we didn't want to take up too much of his time if he could potentially get more sales. But then on Sunday we went and chatted with him again because Sundays are when things start to wind down. Technically, the celebs are supposed to stay till 5 o'clock, but most of them don't. You know, by 3, you usually see at least half the celebs have already left. I don't know if it's just based on when they fly out, or they're just like, well, I've made my money, so I'm leaving, because I know there are a few, none of the ones I mentioned, but there are a few that are like, okay, well, I'm done making money. What's the point of being here? Where most of them are like, we love being with the fans. We love being with each other. The whole vibe is so much fun. Why would you leave early? Oh my God, Pollyanna McIntosh. I can't believe I'm forgetting Pollyanna. Pollyanna McIntosh, who, you know, Walking Dead fans would certainly know as Jadis. God, I completely forgot this was her first Monster-Mania, and she was fabulous. I love her to bits and pieces. She's amazing. I literally went up to her and I said, I saw you on the show, and oh my God, I hated you. And she just got this vigor, and she's like, yes, because that's her goal. I mean, as an actress, you want, you know, if you're an asshole character, you want people to hate you and feel strongly about you. And I was like, but then I think it was later that same night, the night of your debut, you did Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick. She's like, yeah, it was. I said, and then I loved you. And she was like, oh, that's awesome. And then that was the end of the Walking Dead talk. Then we just started talking about random shit. Like, she's Scottish and she's got the most beautiful accent. So my husband and I were saying, like, you need to record audiobooks. And like, my husband's like, yeah, or like the phone book, anything, you know? So we were talking to her about that, and just, it was just fun chit chat at that point, and we took a bunch of fun photos with Pollyanna. God, I can't believe I almost forgot her. I would have felt awful because she was so amazing, but we had so much fun with her, and yeah, it was just an incredible experience. I mean, each year is so different because the vibe, in terms of the celebrities, the vibes can be very different. We've met a handful of people that we were fortunate that we didn't spend money on specifically. Like, we make a point of trying to go up to the tables. Generally, we didn't so much this year because we spent more time with our friends. But even if we're not that familiar with somebody's work, we at least like to go up to their table and shake hands and say, thanks for coming, you know? And we didn't do that as much this year, like I said, because we were with our friends more. But there have been a few people like that we've met that we were like, wow, really? Like, you do know you, like, are just still a human being, right? You shit on the toilet like everybody else. You're not better than we are. You know, you're just people that happen to do a different job than, you know, somebody else might do. Like, you could tell the people that were just there to, like, make money, and that's it. They didn't give a shit about the fans. And fortunately, those experiences have been few and far between, and I'm not an asshole, so I'm not going to call them out. But there have been a few like that. This year, there weren't. I don't think there was anybody, honestly, that we felt that way about. Everybody this year was really, I mean, there were varying degrees of warmth and feeling of connection between them. Some of them, I think, were kind of phoning it in. They were more warm and bubbly and personable during their Q&As than they maybe were at their tables, because they were just kind of jaded and like, you know, all right, well, you know, I'm going to pack up soon because I'm not making any more money, and peace out, bitches. You know, that most of them were really lovely, and there weren't any that were complete assholes, not even close. So this was a really good year for celebrities. Although I was bummed. Usually a lot of people, celebrity-wise, come to the VIP party, and like I said, only a handful did. The Soskas, which I'm obsessed with. I love them so much. And PJ Souls, and then, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Tom, I can't think of his last name. He was one of the Jasons. There was a Friday the 13th cake, and he came and cut the cake. I want to say he was in 5, but I'm not positive. Oh, it's Morga, Tom Morga. But he really, like, literally didn't say a word. He came and he cut the cake, but he was in character. Like, it was cool. Like, he held, like, you know, the knife, the big knife, and, you know, was, like, creeping people out with this, you know, the spooky Jason face, and that was really fun. But that was it. That was all that came to the VIP party, and usually I would say at least 10, 12 people show up, so that was kind of a bummer. But like I said, we spent more time with our friends then, so that was fun. But anyway, all right, this is almost a half hour, so I'm going to shut up. I just wanted to give you guys a recap while everything was fresh in my head. I'm going to be back in just a minute when I cut this off, and I'm going to show you my first haul, which was from Bastion's Boutique, my dear friend Mary's business, and I'm going to show you some other hauls too, and I'll probably do them. I may do them all now, like in separate videos, because I'm here and I'm comfortable, and yeah, it's almost 11. We have tickets, well, we don't have tickets yet, but we're going to go see, crap. The Hitman's Bodyguard, I think that's the name of the movie. My husband's really excited about it, so we're going to go see that at 10 to 1. So we have to head out by, like, you know, 12:30ish. But I've got an hour and a half, so I can shoot more vids for you for a while. But if any of you guys that are our friends are watching this from the con, we love you, we love you, we love you. We had the best time with you. We can't wait to see you again in March. You're what made this con so special for us. I mean, seriously, it was just amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know a lot of you may not be into horror movies or conventions or any of what I talked about, but if you sat through this video anyway, I really appreciate it. This is me at about as happy as I get. I mean, I'm bummed that it's over. If I'd done this beforehand, like, you know, squeeing about how excited I was, I would have been happier than this. But I'm still pretty fucking happy right now with all of the memories of the fun that we had, and knowing that it's not over. It's just over until March, and then we get to do it all again. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We're over 600 subs. I found that out from my friend Candace while I was away. She commented on one of my videos, congrats on reaching 600. I was like, holy crap, I hadn't realized I did. So thank you guys for that. That's awesome. I was hoping to get there by the end of the month, and we did it even sooner, so that's wonderful. You guys are the best. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna like have a sore throat and not be able to do any more vids, which, you know, some of you may be like, woohoo, and some of you will be bummed. So I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna have a little of my coffee that's over here, and then I'll be back in a minute with more stuff. Bye, guys.